Stress is a major problem in today's society. Every person, whether a child, teen, or adult, will face situations that could be characterized as stressful. Studies show that as much as 26% of adult Americans are on the verge of a nervous breakdown. As the world becomes more connected through advances in technology and people begin to move at a faster pace, there is no doubt that stress levels will continue to increase. In order to better understand stress, we will look at interviews conducted with 3 individuals. The first will explain what stress is and what the 5 areas of stress are in today's world. In the second interview, our expert will go in depth in how stress impacts one's physical and mental health. Finally, we will speak with someone who will explain what one can do to overcome the effects of stress.
It is important to understand what stress is before beginning an in-depth analysis of how to prevent it. Stress is defined as constraining force or influence, as a physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension and may be a factor in disease causation. Based on this definition, stress can manifest itself in many different forms, as varied as the situations that are causing the stress. Stress is unique in that 2 individuals might experience the same situation and one might be completely broken while the other is not impacted at all. However, studies have been able to identify certain life events that are the most likely to cause stress. Various studies give different results, but the most widely agreed upon causes of stress are as follows: the death of a spouse, death of a family member, major injury or illness to oneself, major illness or injury to a family member, or jail. As one might expect, the most stressful life events involve loss, either the loss of health, life, or freedom. It is also important to note that of the 5 major stressful events one will encounter in life, only going to jail is in one's control. The other major stressful events are out of one's control and thus carry an inherent unpredictability.
For most individuals, high levels of stress will impact physical and mental health alike. The actual symptoms can be displayed differently, but they can nonetheless be strong. There is a quote from Charles Hobson I particularly like. "Stress can have a devastating and even lethal impact on victims, both physically and psychologically. Research has shown that stress is a major cause of strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure, and ulcers, as well as depression, eating disorders, and suicide." People might feel stress as simply feeling sad or angry for a period of time, but research is clear. Stress can have long-term negative health consequences. Stress must not be ignored. If left unattended, stress will become worse and will cause physical and mental anguish.
Humans use various methods to deal with stress in everyday life. Some methods are healthy and beneficial, while others can make a bad situation worse. In general, people devise their own way of coping with the stress. Coping is an action one takes to deal with the stressful situations. While many believe coping to be positive in the face of stress, it is possible to cope with a situation in ways that make it worse. Some people blame others, become angry, and lash out, or give up. None of these will help make the stress go away or mitigate the long-term health impacts of stress. The best method for dealing with stress is constructive coping. Constructive coping involves taking positive steps to deal with stress. Many believe that when one is stressed, they just need to relax, but this is often extremely difficult. Some healthy coping methods include identifying the stressor and developing a plan to overcome, speak with a counselor, trusted friend, or pastor, journal your stressful feelings, or join a gym or running club. The most important thing is to find what works for you and stick with it. Healthy methods for overcoming stress will cause an individual to face their stressor and develop a plan to move forward.
In summary, stress can arise in every part of life. Over time, stress has been shown to have a damaging impact on one's physical and mental health. In order to overcome stress, one must practice healthy methods of coping. Healthy coping will take many different forms. One should find out what works best for him or her. One must also remember that while the situation might not be his or her fault, he or she must still deal with the condition and move on stronger. Talking about the stressors, writing down good or bad feelings, and being surrounded by people who care are all proactive steps to deal with stress.